Oh,
Alright.
I forgot I had push to talk on. I kept screaming into the mic.
You had me worried.
I forgot I
You
haven't
had me worried.
talked to anybody on Discord since D&D on Thursday, so I haven't had to change to push to talk at all.
Who's the boomer now?
Still you.
No, yeah, no, 100%.
No,
Still
no,
me.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
right. Shut
I
up.
understand. Right. I'm sorry.
I'm
My
sorry.
apologies.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Let's just start this episode off with many apologies.
Let me start. Just get the tail. Let me whip you a
First of
bit.
all, I'm sorry for being here.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for taking up your time this Saturday.
That reminds me, I sent Travis something recently where it was like a video about middle childs and you just apologize for existing all the time. That's why you're always saying sorry.
Got big middle child energy.
Just big middle. I'm not even the middle child, but I have big middle child energy.
I know, and Claudia is an actual middle child, and she's not apologetic at all.
Well, Claudia's a demon, so
A demon bus, right?
demon bus, you know.
I think you missed that. I just wanted to make that correction
The
for the record.
the important thing about how she's a bus, a human
Right.
bus.
I married a bus.
Oh, I married a bus.
Oh no! Wow, what a
Oh,
wacky adventure.
what a wacky adventure. Oh my god. So how are you doing, Bradley? How
You
are
know,
you?
I had a really great moment like 10 minutes ago that really characterized just who and what I am. So I
Uh-huh.
just got I just got my whole thigh, my right thigh tattooed,
Yeah.
and I wanted to go ahead and give it one good wash before I sat down for the evening to do this. So it's on my leg. I can't really like put my foot in the sink or anything like that. So I'm like, I'm just gonna stand in the shower and I'm just gonna wash my thigh. So I'm like, well, I need a bit of running water. So turn the water on, and I immediately forget that the diverter, or like the shower valve, is on. So water starts pouring out of the shower head, and I'm like half dressed, and it's freezing fucking cold. So I'm scrambling to
Nice.
turn it off. I can't push the thing down. I'm slipping everywhere, burning my tattoo because you shouldn't be submerging this in water. And then my phone alarm starts going off to remind me that we're going live in like 30 minutes. And then it was just chaos. And that's what having a panic attack is like. And that's where
Ah.
I'm at most of the time.
It's just like this is my constant brain. This is
Right.
how brain go.
But now it's better. I'm all clean and lube. My leg is nice and lubed up for the evening. And as you join us here on our recliners, with this
Recliners.
wonderful book we're about to talk to you about. What are you up to tonight, Jordan? How have you
Uh
been?
uh I procrastinated.
Hey, me too, buddy.
I read about I was on when I started reading on Thursday, I was on page 40 of a 350 51 page book. So I was on page 40. So I started
Good.
reading on Thursday and I got to like page 80 and then I was like, I'll get back to reading. Didn't get back to reading. Friday I got to about page 200 and then today I read the rest. So I've been reading and then I've been playing Destiny.
Well, at least this is fresh on your mind because I finished the book days ago because I wanted to commit to like actually like making like I have like the first quarter of a PowerPoint presentation open on my second screen because I actually wanted to have some kind of notes for this episode so I wasn't just freeballing it.
Oh, I'm gonna
And
always be free ball. Brad, I know that you want this. You could do it, but I'm always gonna be free balling. I can't. I gotta shoot off the dome. I can't write things down.
it's
I'm
okay. I'm a better with notes kind of guy,
I'm a better
but
with notes.
but I'm also an awful procrastinator. So I did about a quarter of it, and two of my five slides are blank. So that's where we're at.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
So it's like A for effort.
You know, real fast. Aaron brought up a good point. Delivery is low key the best thing ever, because like the idea that like I can just call a pizza and like pay everything through the internet and they just leave it on my door and I don't have to look at them in the eyes when I pick up my pizza or put pants on.
I know.
It's so good. It's
I
just
will say that this is that is the benefit of living in a house. We still have an apartment. And so pizza, okay, what I've noticed is that pizza delivery people are like cut from a different cloth than like
yeah.
Uber drivers. A pizza delivery person can find you in the middle of like a fucking tornado. But an Uber driver doesn't know anything.
It's because they're
So
just God, it reminds me of like that. I used to work for a pizza place when I was very young, and like, man, pizza delivery drivers literally make pennies. It's so sad, and they work so hard, and they're always just the angriest. They're the angriest people in the shop. Just so mad because they're all fucking each other over at the same time because they all want the best place with the best tips.
Yep.
And they're all just so angry all the time. And everybody for not making pizza fast enough, not getting enough tips. They're always mad about something. And the worst thing ever is that they also have to clean all the dishes most of the time.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so because if they're waiting for deliveries, they're the ones doing the dishes also.
God damn, dude.
So please, tip your pizza delivery drivers. They're having a very bad time all of the time.
I promise they're not having a good day.
I promise you, they're having a very bad time. All right, Brad, let's get on to our first segment. What you drinking?
Okay, so I'm actually finishing the last glass of what I was drinking last episode. But we have a new wine, and I haven't really seen it yet because it's in the fridge. And I didn't prepare for this question. So I don't know what's up next.
Literally the first question.
Now, no, I know. Hey, man, I work full time and I'm also in school. Get off my back. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying what remains of this delightful, lively, tangy, and crisp, vibrant Sauvignon Blanc.
I don't know why when you said tangy, I kind of cringed. I was just like, ugh.
It's because it's not a good word, but I'm reading the box. So,
oh, you read the box.
Those are not my words.
I have, because I didn't go to the store today to get wine.
So you didn't do it either.
No, but I at least have something new.
I have a whole glass here, you bastard.
I have a big Chungus can of premium ale made by Foster's from Australia because I bought this to celebrate my Australian friend's birthday and I still had a can left. And
that was 2 days ago, right?
Yes.
His birthday?
Yes.
Oh,
so I still have this can.
Belated.
Yes, our boy CJ, he turned 27 2 days ago, but for him 3 days ago because Australia is a made-up place. But it was funny, I was talking to him about this. So this can of Foster's cost me $2. It's a 5% can. It's 5%, and it's 25.4 float ounces, and it's like 3 pints into one can. It's a lot. It's a big boy.
I know what you're talking about. It's the big chode can.
Yeah, it's the big chode can. And I decided that I was going to buy wine, but then I remembered I had this, and I feel like ale is a fitting thing for Redwall.
You know, it really is. Ale.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Oh.
So I guess that answers my next question. How is it?
I'm going to take a better sip, but...
We really need the ASMR sounds.
Oh, it tastes like Yingling, but worse somehow. Also, Wild Cherry Pepsi is the best Pepsi, and I will fight anybody to the death for one.
That's fucking delicious. Ground beef and bacon pizza sounds like a fucking slam dunk right now.
Oh, but yeah, no, this is a Greek tragedy of a drink.
They did their best. Hey, I want to bring up something that I just noticed before we get into this. Mm-hmm. I love how hairless your left knee is in this picture.
You know what? I was about to say, you don't have hair on your knees, stupid. And then I looked at my knees. I'm like, no, wait, I'm the stupid. I do have hair on my knees.
Today, at the tattoo shop, I was shaved by
Again?
a very short man.
Again?
I told him, I said, Dylan, this is why I come here, because I just want you to shave me.
Small man, shave me.
Your little baby hands look so tiny on my thighs.
So here we go. This is actually secretly a podcast about how we're gonna get jobs for manlets. We're gonna get them jobs as tiny little shavers.
We're trying to raise awareness for manlets.
Oh, fun fact: Marco's Pizza is the pizza place I used to work at.
Oh wow!
Fuck that place.
Just know that your pizza was baked with slave labor.
No, you can't say that. No, Brad, you can't say that.
Brad, no.
Brad, no.
Am I the little mouse buddy in the top left? Is that me now?
No. Okay. So fun fact about that is my friend said that to me the other day he was like, cheese to meet you. And I was like, what? And then he explains it to me. Yeah, it's like a little Pepe that says cheese to meet you. And every time I look at this picture, it fills me with so much joy. It's just look at his little hands. He's just like, cheese to meet you? And
He couldn't hurt it.
And Katie's new thing is she will scrunch her neck and suck in her arms and look at me, just doing the cheese to meet you thing, and just stare at me, and I lose it every time.
My favorite part about that little dingus is if he were to stand up, he would only grow by like an inch.
Don't we all, if you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm dying.
We really should try. This is a really pure and delightful book. And we're going to just slather it in our goblin funk with our nastiness.
I just, all right, so let's start talking about Redwall, Brad. Redwall is a book. You know what? I probably should have did the research. Redwall.
It was written in 1986, my man.
1986.
Yeah, this book's older than this series is older than you think, and he wrote these books like up until like a few years before he died.
I know, it makes me so sad. I was on a cruise when I found out he died, and I was very sad. The worst thing ever is I was at the buffet on a cruise, so I was already sad. And then it was like my brother was like, "Did you hear Brian Jacquez died?" And I was like, "No."
You want to hear a fun fact? His last name is just pronounced Jakes.
What?
Yep,
I
watched the first like half of an interview with him on some talk show because that is the quality we're trying to bring to you on this.
So I've just been
podcast.
saying it like a pretentious asshole for years for no fucking reason.
Basically, this man's name is Brian Jakes.
Brian.
And this dude had a hell of a life before he started writing.
Like,
let's just walk through it a little bit. This man. Just take a walk with me, guys. This man was born in fucking 1939.
This man was born.
Period. Full stop. Done. In the episode.
All right,
no, he was born in Liverpool in 1939.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was 10 and he was in Catholic school, that's when he found out that he was like really good at writing. Because on like the first day of this like English class, they were asked to write a story about like woodland animals and stuff. And he wrote one, and the teacher said that it was so good that they refused to believe that he wrote it.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's just some embellishment or if this man is some kind of megamind writer from like age 10. But this book, if you'll remember, is full of very vivid imagery. It's a really beautiful book. And it's because he wrote it for fucking blind children.
What?
Yes.
What the fuck?
So all right. So look at this. So it was the Royal Wave Tree School for the Blind in Liverpool. So after he left school, he held like a variety of jobs. One of those jobs was a truck driver where he delivered milk, which is just an insane thing that was a job people had in my brain. I can't like.
Oh, are you talking about like Brad out here being like, "Milkman to my door? No, right. Thank you."
Don't ever talk to me or my son ever again.
Bringing bottles of milk to me? No. Go right for the blind, idiot.
So he, I guess while he was delivering milk to this school for the blind, he was like, I don't know, I guess I'll write him a nice story. So he wrote Redwall for these kids, and he filled it with fucking like super vivid imagery, so it would like help them get involved with it, and it's the most beautiful, pure thing.
That's wow.
I love it.
Wow.
It makes this book so much better because it's already a joy to read and a very welcome like reprieve from just straight up like tentacle dick haunted vagina.
Just hot garbage.
Dick corona that we've been reading about. So, but let's see. So I want to talk about some of the jobs this guy had. Though. So he left school at 15 to become a merchant seaman. So this dude hops on a boat. And, like, he seriously port hops at 15 from, like, the U.S., South America, Japan. Like, he just fucking hits the high seas. And when he comes back, he's like, well, I guess I'll find something else to do now. And so he was a railway fireman. So he was, like, the dude shoveling coal, into the train. He was a longshoreman, which is a guy who unloads shit at the boat
Yeah,
docks.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what that is. Yeah.
So I didn't know what it was. So I was
Oh.
like, what the fuck is a longshoreman? So he was a long distance truck driver, and I guess that was also where he was delivering milk at some point. He was a bus driver. He was a fucking boxer.
What?
Yeah.
Pog!
He was okay. He was with he was a Bobby. He was the police constable 216D. So he was a cop. He was a postmaster and a stand-up comic.
Bro!
Brian Jakes was the fucking man.
Like, bro, I would love to see a stand-up. So what's the deal with cheese? Cheese to meet you.
Brian Cheese to meet you?
Oh boy. Woo!
He's a very good boy.
God, that's
yeah. So he wrote this book for the kids at the school that I guess he bonded with.
He did it for the kids.
He did it for the kids. So Alan Durbin was the name of his like English teacher, I guess, at his Catholic school, and they became like really good friends just like throughout life. And Alan Durbin was actually the guy. So behind Brian's back, he submitted Redwall to his personal publisher, and that resulted in a 5-book deal, which launched his writing career.
Huh.
So if it weren't for his English teacher that he met and was like blown away at his writing ability at age 10, we would not have Redwall.
Damn. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky man. Be able to deliver.
He's a very good boy. And this is exactly where all of my notes just fell off.
Then it's just like, that's it.
I started to go into the cast of characters. I was going to do like a nice little brief overview of everything. And then I just didn't.
I just fucked off.
And then I didn't because I work all the fucking time.
I just didn't. And I just didn't.
I just don't. I could have done it, and then I didn't do it.
I was just gonna talk about the book and what I like about it.
I want to give our listeners context.
Yeah,
I want them to know about this stuff, and then we can dive into the nitty gritty detail.
Nitty gritty.
Hold their little baby hands.
Little baby hands. They're tiny little mice hands. Cause okay, Brad, I want to ask you something because I feel like I want to ask a lot of fans of Redwall. When you're reading this book, do you feel like the sizes of everybody fluctuates dramatically?
Okay, I can't figure it out.
I legitimately cannot, cause like at one point, like it's just like nothing. I will get into this about when we reach certain points, but like I feel like the size of everything fluctuates, sometimes it feels like they living in some weird like post-apocalyptic human world.
I know, post-human world.
Because like some of the things they say are like so like, because like one point he's like, you're as like fit as a penny, and I'm like, how the fuck do you know what a penny is? Like, because there's no currency. Like, you guys have not talked about currency once, so like how the fuck?
They clearly exist on like some kind of barter economy. There is no fucking currency in Redwall.
So I'm just...
And Redwall, by the way, is an actual fortress. It is a mouse fortress.
It's not a fortress. It's an abbey with a wall built around it. It's
got a wall built around it.
Most abbeys have walls. I mean, most abbeys have walls built around them to protect them from raiders.
And oh boy, do we meet some raiders.
Because, all right, real fast. Cold shot real fast. Who's your favorite character?
Dude, I love me some Constance.
I mean, yeah, Constance. Oh, I got something. Somebody did something. My friend, this person, Joseph Mint 101 Gaming has followed, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Getting cozy. But Constance, very good. Low-key, all badgers in the Redwall series, very good. Love these badgers. Love these.
They're also like tanks.
Yeah, they're
huge. They fuck some shit up.
This book
has a shocking amount of like violence for a kid's book.
Yeah, kids should be exposed to more violence.
But like, I mean, this book takes place. Basically, it walks you through a siege that's happening in like different stages, and there's just like violence. Like really, like he walks you through it, and I mean, this is a kid's book, and they warned Brian when he wrote this that 200 pages was like kind of the maximum length that would hold the child's attention. And he's like, no, this is an epic war story. I'm going past 300. And he did it anyway, and it was like a bestseller.
Mm.
But I just think the whole thing is
Yeah, he wrote it just he probably didn't think it was going to be other books like or Aaron
yeah.
said that like Aaron said that like it's a little weird, but like if I had to my favorite character is actually Basil Stagg the Hare.
Oh, he's
Fucking
awesome.
fucking love that guy. Love that dude so much.
He's a good boy. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
so
That's actually a thing. Like, there's on the Wikipedia page, there's like a whole section about the discrepancies in the series.
yeah.
Because like once he got his book deal, he was like, "Oh man, I guess there should be like a consistent canon here."
Yeah, because like it felt like this book feels like it takes place. It feels like it almost takes place like in a small world where like humans don't exist but also exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. It's like because it's your first book. You don't know where you're going. You're not writing this to be a book publisher. You know, you're writing this because blind kids are blind.
Crave violence.
Like blind kids want to hear about a badger beating somebody to death with their fucking fist.
Dude, it's like choking someone out with your tail.
Yeah,
Which is also 100% my kink.
Oh, gross. Hate that. Disgusting. Hate it. No. So we get introduced. So in the opening of Redwall, it starts with a feast. And there's always a lot of eating in Redwall. Like the whole series. That's like if you ask anybody what like happens in Redwall, it always comes down to the food. Because later on, like low-key, like this one was light on the food, but like in his next, like in his like more books later on, he like goes really hard on food. Like that's one of the main things I remember about most of the Redwall books is them always just talking about eating. So like in this one,
that's so interesting.
The first thing that's happened is you're introduced to your main character called Matthias, who he a little rat orphan. He's a
baby
sorry,
boy.
he's a mouse orphan. We have to be very specific about like what animals are because like there's a very big difference between them in this, like mice and stuff.
Yeah, rats and mice, like it may be something that we would use interchangeably, like in like the vernacular, but those are very different.
Yeah. We meet this little orphan boy, and we get introduced to the abbot of this abbey named oh my god, Mortimer.
Oh yes, boy Mortimer.
Old boy Mortimer. Love that guy. So we get it's like if I remember correctly, it's his yearly. They have a yearly feast to celebrate him, the abbot specifically, not Mortimer, but just whoever is the abbot at the time. So they have this big field, and they have this big feast in this place called Redwall, which is this huge abbey that it takes place in the place called Mosswood, where most of this book takes place in, and they're helping. They help people. That's their main goal. Is that any woodland creature that comes to them is injured, hungry, whatever, they can come to Redwall Abbey and get food, healing, whatever they need. And they're known across the land as these just like legendary people who have free pass around anywhere because they don't fight. They're pacifists who just want to help.
They're just here to vibe, and they've had like in the lore of Redwall, they've had like great warriors in the past, but that's like in a time gone. That they are in a peaceful era now. Everyone has food in their bellies and everyone's happy, and they just hang out and vibe and do shit.
Just vibe. So little Mortimer's all excited. Not Mortimer. Little Matthias is all excited because it's a big feast. He's like, yeah, pog. So Abbot Mortimer's like, all right, little one, calm down, go vibe, like go fishing. Which I bring this specifically, like this is not important to the story in general, but this is a part that I remember reading and being like, this is weird because they catch a fish that's 2 pounds. And it was too heavy. It was too heavy for 2 of them to carry, and the badger constant had to come and carry it. And this is the first time in the book I was like, how fucking big is this place? How, like, are fish normal size? Is 2 pounds a lot? Like...
Because this fish fed them for, like, a while.
It fed the whole woodland area because it's, like, this big thing... Because you get introduced to one of the main main side characters named Friar Hugo?
Hugo.
Yes. Friar Hugo, who he's a big fat mouse he the cook. He always making the food. He making the food.
He's a chef's kid. Just
So-
he's a very good boy.
So like they make a big deal out of this grayling they catch that's only 2 pounds, and everybody comes around. You start getting introduced to a lot of the side characters. You get introduced to Constance, Abbott Fire, the church mice people, the church,
A little church. See, okay, so there's different families, and there's a family named Church Mouse, and it's because they literally live in a church down
But the
way.
weird thing about that too is that they're actually a subsection of species of mice called church mice that are
is that
smaller
really?
than the rest
Oh.
of them.
Look at that.
Because then you
I
get
learned
introduced to
something
the door mice later on, who are also a form of mice, but they're smaller. So they actually go into this weird subsection of there's mice, and then there's subsections of mice. This is how deep this man goes into this.
This man ran mouse studies to write this book for the blind children.
He just bought. I wonder if he actually kept mice as pets. You think?
I don't know. If you go into Brian Jake's house and it's just a bunch of fucking mice and rats shitting everywhere.
Why?
And, slithering in the corner.
Why would you do this to him?
Chunking out Redwall books.
I gotta get him out. Gotta feed my rats. So we have
He
this.
was a good boy. Rest his soul.
He's a good boy. He wrote for the blind, Brad. Jesus.
Yeah,
he wrote for
I'm
the
sorry.
fucking blind.
And then he was duped. And then he became famous.
He didn't want to be famous. He got tricked. But so the feast happens. Everybody's excited. Everybody's like dab, dab, dab. So then we get this perspective of this. It's this book. It's written. Is this third person, right? Technically.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So it's written from third person, and it jumps around a lot from different perspectives of a lot of people, and it mostly jumps between 2 main characters, Matthias, and then the antagonist of the book, who we get introduced, known as Cluny the Scourge.
Ooh, Cluny.
Who is
The
this?
One eye, he's evil.
Which also brings up another good point, is that he's a rat that came. I'll find the words. He's a ship rat. So supposedly,
that's right.
he came to Mossflower Wood Forest from a boat, and he's this big nasty rat. Because supposedly ship rats are bigger. Sea rats, they're called. They're huge and they're vicious. And he's just this big old rat who builds up an army, and he just terrorizes everybody. So
he's this dude is pretty vicious, honestly. He regularly kills, tortures, or punishes subordinates for nothing. He's vile.
He literally so Matthias and Constance start to take the church mites home, and then we're introduced to Cluny, who is having a horse drag a wagon that fit 500 rats in it.
Yeah, he is barreling through the woods on a horse-drawn carriage fit for humans, but there are no humans in this book, so I don't know how he acquired it, but they're currently steering this carriage and interacting with the horse by biting it and shit to get it to move.
So my thought is, did they see horse big, build wagon big for horse to pull, that's ooh, car, ooh, oonga boonga, big wagon, horse big, make big thing, horse pull, many rat in back.
You got it, buddy.
Because if you think about it, they also did build a quarry to build these fucking huge walls that they never say how tall they are, but they sound ginormous. They sound huge.
Like the Redwall Abbey walls?
Yeah.
Actually, I would have to find this section, but
they don't talk about
dragged the carriage up to the side of the wall at one point.
Because they build that siege tower.
So we actually might be able to roughly guesstimate the height of the walls, but it's
all right. Wait,
Jordan is the one with the physical book, so it's gonna be easier.
I don't have the physical book, loser. I have the Kindle version.
Look at you go. Two digital daddies.
Let me see. Siege. Keep talking, Brad. I'm gonna look up what a siege.
In the meantime, I'm just gonna do a little sub gift right quick.
Oh my God! I ask you to. Brad, keep talking.
I'm gonna start throwing money at your friend.
How dare you?
Oh God, but no. Something about Matthias though. When we meet him, he's very much so not a hero. This is a very awkward little mouse, and
He's an
he's literally
orphan.
wearing shoes like sandals that are too big for him.
Yeah, he's always flip flopping about and tripping about. He's like, ah, my feet.
Awkward, but this boy turns into a big boy.
Yeah.
By the end,
You,
we're very proud.
You focus on the hero's journey to battle the evil antagonist that has struck this peaceful abbey, right? So Cluny the Scourge is coming at them. You know, Matthias and Constantine find out. They pull to the side. They're able to get back to the abbey and let everybody know. So they all hands on deck, right? So they're like, oh fuck, because people know who Cluny the Scourge is. He's what
this boy's famous.
I would describe him as what we would call the Baba Yaga, the boogeyman. Like he's literally
Baba Yaga.
Yeah, you have Baba Yaga. He's literally described as like they use him be like, hey, eat all your vegetables or Cluny the Scourge is gonna eat you. And this dude actually also eats anything. So like,
yeah, he's a monster.
Like he literally will eat rats. He'll eat anything that is edible that is red meat. He will eat. So he doesn't care. So he wants to take over Redwall Abbey because he's like, oh fuck, I can have a castle. This will be lit. Also, I'm just a big dickhole and I want to fuck people over.
I think he's honestly he lost. So he has one eye. I know I said this earlier, but he's got one eye and he lost it in a fight with a pike. So like a giant fish. And so
Hey Brad, no. Brad, no.
Or was he literally stabbed in the face with a pike?
He was stabbed in the face with a pike. He wasn't.
Okay, I'm pretty sure.
Bro, if he fought a fish and the fish sucked his eye out, that's the worst thing.
There is a fish called a pike. That was where my brain went.
But also,
because he said, and the pike had lost its life at one point. That was a line I'm reading.
I think
Cluny had lost an eye. The pike had lost its life.
But like, it was during a battle though, so like it wasn't.
But it said a battle with a pike. You normally wouldn't say, and then I fought, like if you and I are fighting with swords,
bro,
you would not say, and then I fought the sword.
Bro, did this man fight a fish?
The man fought a fish.
I'm looking this up because I always thought of it just like as the pike as like the weapon, not the fucking fish.
Oh yeah, and it's funny, I only know a pike is a fish because of Animal Crossing.
I mean, okay.
That's the only reason I know any fish names.
Okay, sorry.
I've now grown smarter.
Thank you, Animal Crossing.
Thank you, very nice. Mwah.
Mwah.
But yeah, no. So he lost it in a fight with a big old nasty fish. Ooh, oh, this was something I want to point out. So in the second chapter, which is where you meet Cluny, it says some said that Cluny was a Portuguese rat. Others said that he came from the jungles far across the wide oceans. Nobody knew for sure. So this is one of those like in this initial book, which is like chronologically not the first book. It was just the first book written. There's kind of like a Star Wars thing going on here. He hadn't established this like full lived-in world yet. But in the world that he had made for this first book, people exist at least, or they used to, because it supposedly takes place in the world that we know because there's Portugal.
Yeah. You know, this is old. This is old. Old England, probably. Dang,
just running around.
Portuguese rat killing people. Started.
Are you looking? Are you still looking up the pike thing?
I'm blown away, man. Like because like this just brings in like this whole thing because like they're very willy-nilly on what's like sentient in this book because like fish not sentient, but my brain go, how did fish fight him? Like I think.
Well, you know what? I guess you're right.
I'm pretty sure. I think it was a pike man, which is a soldier type. I think it was a pike man. I don't think it was a fish.
We're gonna have to put the research to this after the episode because I am 100% sold.
Cluny.
Hold on. I'm googling this. How did Cluny the Scourge lose his eye? Let me see. Okay. This is from the Redwall wiki, the fandom wiki page. In the Redwall TV series, he is portrayed as having killed Matthias's family. Okay, well I guess I don't know if that ever happened.
That didn't happen, no.
Okay, because I know that some of these characters are referred to later, but okay, Cluny had one eye. The other was lost in a battle with a pike, which ended up worse off, dead, and covered by an eye patch. You would never describe a swordman as a sword.
But, like...
I guess you would.
Yes, you would!
Actually.
You literally just said swordman, my boy!
Yeah, but man, you'd put the thing at the end of it. I don't know. We're gonna revisit this. I'm gonna have to watch the episode of this TV show and see if they show it.
Aaron also thinks it's a fish, so I'm gonna fuck it. It's a fish. I've accepted it. Dude got his eye sucked out by a fish and then he stabbed it. I will talk about this for as much as I fucking want, Brad, because I'm having a crisis that a fish stole this rat's eye.
Well,
why was he fighting this? Why was he fighting this fish?
Because he's Cluny. He's a dickhole. He wants to fight everybody.
But why was he fighting a fish?
Because the fish must have done something to slight him.
Why didn't he just go fucking fishing? Oh my god.
I got no answers for you, man.
Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, so we meet Cluny and Scourge. He sets up camp in Moss Woods. He then goes about and finds every villain he can in the woods, which are mostly just ferrets, weasels, and stouts. Those ferrets, weasels, and stouts, all bad people. Instantly all bad people.
Yeah, the like species thing is like very related to like your classification on the good evil scale.
Yeah.
You don't have evil mice. They're all good mice.
They're all good mice. They all good mice. So they're building up these fences, and Cluny's getting ready to attack. And he tries to then negotiate. Cluny then, before he attacks, tries to negotiate with the abbot, being like, hey, surrender or die. And Constance, our big, lovely badger lady, fucking flips the table at them and says, fuck off. Just literally makes the dude piss his pants by throwing a table at him, like, fuck off. And they're all like, all right, guess we'll beat your ass. And they're like, okay, try it. All right. See you in court, bitch. I'll fight you. I just love that it's literally just flip the whole table at him. And everybody's shitting their pants because, once again, She-Hulk over here, because she's a badger, she's a billion times
big and she's pissed off and she's super strong.
All the time. All angry. Badgers are very scary creatures in Redwall.
She does a lot of yeeting in this book.
A lot of yeeting. Just a lot of like yeeting and choking and just being big and scary.
Oh. I do want to read, though, this short little passage from Cluny's approach to Redwall. So he has one of his like minions named Skullface go up to like spur the horse on, because the horse is like stopped running at this point. Yeah, he's tired and confused. So he's like, get up there and you bite that horse and you get it to move again. So he goes up there and he does it, and then Cluny, in classic fashion, then throws Skullface off like into like under the carriage. So it says, Skullface had time for just one agonized scream before he fell. The iron-shod cartwheels rolled over him. He lay in a red mist of death, the life ebbing from his broken body. And the last thing he saw before darkness claimed him was the sneering visage of Cluny the Scourge roaring from the jolting black backboard. Tell the devil Cluny sent you, Skullface. He's an awful person.
He literally let somebody get run over. Oh, yeah, and then also at one point they push the horses so hard that this big wagon flips over and a couple of his guys die and they lose this wagon. It's important later that they come back to this broken-ass wagon.
And by a couple, you mean like many. Many were crushed under this giant wagon. And he's just like, I can spare it.
Yeah, and Cluny's like, if you die, you're a loser. Winners are the ones who live. Yeah, he's like, winners are the ones who live. If you die, you're a fucking loser. And it's just
I'm pretty sure Cluny is just Donald Trump with more skills. Hot take.
Oof. Yikes. Hate that. Hate.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
Hate. But yeah, so Cluny, during his visit to Redwall, while he was leaving, finds this tapestry of Martin the Warrior, who was the warrior mouse that actually formed Redwall. He was this badass mouse that beat everybody up. He was fucking cool as shit. But Cluny, actually, before he came to Redwall, had a dream that this specific mouse, was chasing him and trying to kill him.
Oh, he's haunted by dreams of this
So when
mouse.
he
He
sees,
dreams of him all the time.
yeah, and when he sees this tapestry of Martin the Warrior, he's all like, rubs his, like, fucking rings his little mouse rat hands. I mean, rat hands goes like, So he gets back and he's like, you know what? Fuck those people. I'm gonna steal their heart. So he sends in this very dark, disgusting rat. He's described as very smelly. He smells. He's described as like a greasy smelly. So he's like greasy and he smells
Covered in gamer gunk.
gamer gunky. But so he's this pitch black rat with very slanted eyes, so you can barely see his like obsidian eyes. So he's like, hey, I want you to sneak in and I want you to steal that tapestry, right?
Because Martin is like, he is like the unifying symbol of Redwall. Like, he's a legend, you know.
He's the founder.
It's like it's breaking, you know, into the White House and like the White House lawn and like stealing the fucking American flag and making off with it.
It's like if this man named Nicolas Cage stole the Declaration of Independence right under our nose.
It would be like that happened.
We would fall apart as a country. We wouldn't know what to do. We'd be all like, dang it, that piece of paper we don't follow very well. Where'd it go?
They did a movie about that.
Wait, they did? What was that called? Wait.
I got jokes all day. I think it had Steven Seagal in it.
Funny. Bro's so fucking funny.
Great.
I'm dying. Oh god, you killed me. But yeah, so he then starts this mission where he takes himself, Shadow, and Ray Lake. Oh god. Sometimes
is it Rhaegar?
Rhaegar. So he takes
the names for these guys are the best. There's like Scum Nose.
There's Cheese Thief.
It's Cheese
Thief. Like that's my favorite one. It's all like Dark Claw, Skull Face, Murderer, Cheese Thief. And I'm like, damn, Cheese Thief. Fuck you, Cheese Thief.
Just a hungry little guy.
Just a hungry little thief. But so Rhaegar, Cluny, and Shadow go to Redwall to steal this thing. So Cluny and Rhaegar stay outside, and where
are you at? I'm gonna catch up with you.
So I'm not on a page. This is all from my brain.
That's good. That's good.
I'm just throwing this off the dome. So Shadow sneaks into Redwall because he's the only one who can climb this big ass wall. He's the skilled climber, and that's his thing. So he climbs over Redwall, and he makes his way in to steal this tapestry. And then our main boy, Matthias, who wants to be Martin the Warrior so bad, has a dream that Martin the Warrior comes to him like, hey bro, I'm being stolen. Help. And Matthias is like, huh, what? And he walks down and he sees Shadow cutting the tapestry, and he's like, hey, fuck you, what are you doing? And like he like waits. Yeah, he starts screaming out thief. And so Constance and him chase after Shadow. And Shadow's able to get out. He stabs Mr. Churchmouse before he leaves, before he fucking jumps off the wall.
Just stabs the
and as he
nothing wrong.
Just shivs him twice, like cha. And it's just like, ugh. And then Constance makes it to him and fucking yeets this goddamn mouse. He yeets the first yeet of the book. Constance just grabs Shadow and just yeets him right off the wall. Shadow then crumples to the floor and dies.
It's fucking awesome. This is like Constance is like my favorite character.
And then Clooney's like comes out of the bushes, grabs the tapestry, and goes like, "Hi, suckers, I win!" And he runs away with his boy Rhaegar. And Rhaegar fucking gets lost. And Clooney's just like,
poor idiot.
So and Clooney's just like, oh, whatever, fuck him. He got lost. If you're lost, you're a loser. So Cluny makes it back with the tapestry, has a like big old stiffy, like, haha, I stole them. I stole Martin the Warrior. I'm the cool guy. And Rhaegar's lost in the forest, and we get introduced to another antagonist. A big old snake fucking bites Rhaegar and kills him, and he goes, Asmodeus! And I'm like, what the fuck? Who does boy be?
Who is the angry snake?
Big angry snake. Little angry noodle. Angry noodle. So of course everybody's heartbroken. Martin the Warrior got stolen. Everybody's fucking demoralized. And our boy Matthias is all like, no. Martin wouldn't want us to be sad. Martin would want us to be strong. And everybody's like, yeah, fuck yeah, Matthias, we love you. You went from being a small boy who tripped onto his flip-flops to our big-ass leader now. And everybody's like getting behind this child being their leader because he kind of looks like he's described as Martin the Warrior. They're like, and he's like, he's so smart for being so young. And then they do the thing in the book that weirds me out. They talk about how hot Cornflower is constantly.
Oh, yeah.
And I fucking hate it.
Cornflower is this really nice lady mouse, and she spends most of her time just kind of like helping people with various tasks, like tending to like serving food to like the people stationed up on the wall or carrying supplies. But they just kind of go into detail about how hot this fucking mouse is.
They don't describe her. They just say she's hot. They don't go like, oh, her voluptuous titties or anything like that.
Yeah, this isn't like men writing women content here.
They're just like, oh, look at her. She'd make a fine wife. Hey, she's got a pretty little face. Huh? She could make some good vegetable soup, huh? And every time that gets described, it was like, God damn it.
That is her signature dish, and it at one point literally raises the morale of like a very exhausted like group of like people stationed on the wall.
They drink some soup and then they're powerful. That's right. That's right, Eric. I know you're in chat right now, and this is a call-out post to our friend Eric. Soup is good, and it heals you, and you should eat more soup, okay?
Eric, fuck you, Eric.
Fuck you, Eric.
I love you, Eric. You're a good boy.
Yeah, I love you, Eric. But eat more soup. It's good for you.
Make Stephanie proud.
Stephanie loves soup. You should love soup, too. But, so, now we get into the next part. So this is all in book 1. How dare he? How dare this man say he fucks soup?
Fuck soup. I'm gonna ban this man. I'm gonna use my new mod powers. I'm gonna ban this man.
Ban him for like 5 seconds. No soup hate in this chat. But, so Matthias does the big thing where he's like, yeah, let's fuck him up. And everybody's like, yeah, let's fuck him up. For Martin the Warrior. For our boys. So then comes the main chunk of this book. Because this book is technically split up into 3 books. The first book is called The Wall, where they, set up the siege and, like, what's happening. What's going to happen in this book? Cluny's going to invade Redwall, and Matthias, the main character, needs to stop him in some way, right?
Because, by the way, Cluny, like, makes several, like, raids on this wall. Like, he'll go in with a plan, he'll, like, attack, a bunch of people die, and then like something goes wrong and he's like, so this happens like multiple times. So is this like drawn out battle is like raging in the background, and this army is trying to just like lay siege to the abbey. Matthias is like, well, I'm not going to be much use here. I'm going to go on my little hero's journey.
Yeah, because then before we go into book 2, 2 important things happen. Methuselah, who is this ancient guardhouse, he's always at the head, the wall, the gatehouse. I mean, not guardhouse, gatehouse of Redwall, and he always he keeps track of everybody who comes and goes. Like, he heals bird. He can speak every single language. He can speak.
He's got like the memory of an elephant. Like, this man never forgets. He's the record keeper. He's like revered and very respected, and as such. Due to the status of like the Redwall mice, around Mossflower Wood, like Jordan was saying, he's very respected amongst pretty much all animals.
Yeah, so he's a smart boy record keeper. So he then starts talking to Matthias about Martin the Warrior and where the sword is kept, because Matthias thinks that if he can get the sword, because it's described as this like magical sword, it's not really magical. It's just a sword. But like they think that if they can get the sword, he can be the biggest morale boost and be able to save Redwall, right? So Methuselah and him kind of have this back and forth where they're trying to solve this mystery, and that's where it starts into book 2, called The Quest, is where Methuselah and Matthias actually very hone in on trying to find the sword. But before this book ends and goes into book 2, during one of the siege, Cluny disguises one of his right-hand men as himself, and he takes a group of rats and ferrets to the other side behind the abbey because he wants to climb a tree to sneak in through the back, right? So they bring a big piece of wood, and they're gonna like climb up this tree, go across, and the whole time there's infighting because Cluny likes this ferret named Kilcony, And Cheese Thief, our boy, fucking is like, how
The real
dare
hero.
this rat like not a rat? Fuck this guy. So this is going to be very important later on.
Oh, they're all racist. There's so much infighting among this like loosely. Cluny's army is held together by fear.
Yeah, it's
nobody likes each other. They don't seem to be very motivated to like do his like bidding. They're just scared of him because he'll kill you and your family.
Yeah, he'll whip you to death or beat you or kill you. But
Cluny has this wicked tail.
Big old thick boy.
This is really cool. He's got a massive fucking tail. Like he can hold it and like brandish it like a weapon, but he also has a poisoned barb, like fixed on the end of his tail, and he whips people to death with it, and it's fucking wild.
Yeah,
it's my favorite weapon.
He's a wild lad. Fuck that guy. Fuck Cluny the Scourge. But so they get to this
Cluny
tree.
2012.
Oh no! Stop! No! No! I'm gonna have to do a bunch of cocaine and go slam the sidewalk. But so he climbs up this tree and they're all ready to board. And Methuselah and Matthias, who have been just like studying everything, trying to figure out where the sword is. Methuselah goes to Abbot Mortimer and goes, "Hey, there's a wind coming, but that tree ain't moving. So that means there's people in the tree." And they're like, "Oh my god." So they go over to the tree while Cluny then puts the board down, and Clooney's all like, "I'm gonna walk across this." So Cluny starts fucking walking across this board, and the second yeet of the book happens, where Constance just stands up from behind the wall and just kicks the board out from under Cluny and just watches him fucking fall to the ground. And our boy
like cascades toward the earth and like crashes down there.
And our boy Kilconey, who is holding the board, gets fucking shoved by Cheese Thief for being a ferret, who then gets crushed to death. And then they all scurry down the tree. They get Cluny, who's somehow still alive, even though he fell probably down like a 40-foot tree. But
he's got like a heavy dose of plot armor.
He just built different. No, he just built different. He's from Portugal. He's from Portugal. He's built different.
He drinks his milk. He drinks that Portuguese milk, makes him strong.
But that's the best thing is they don't drink milk, because every time the evil guys touch milk, they spit it out. They're like, "Disgusting. Milk? No. Gross." Every time.
Wait, did I miss this?
Yeah, so like
does not pick up on this.
No, because like there's multiple times in the book where a villain will drink milk and spit it out and go, "This is disgusting."
That's
Red Tooth
weird.
does it. Red Tooth does it. Chicken Hound does it, and then like somebody else does it. Like it happens at least 3 times where they're like, "Milk? That's lame. I want to eat a mouse." So they save their boy Cluny, who is now crippled. So they go and find. They're like, he's like, "Ferrets who live here, please go get me your best healer. I'll kill you." So they get this. So in comes. Now we're into book 2, where Cluny is now crippled, and Matthias and Methuselah are going hard for on this quest, right? Because there's like they find a riddle behind the tapestry that states. Let me see if I can find. I should have saved.
I think it's at the very beginning of the book. I think it's like before the bless you. I think it's like right before the first chapter they post the full thing. But yeah, so underneath the section of tapestry that hangs in the Great Wall, underneath the part of it that was torn off that had the picture of Martin on it.
Okay, I found it.
Carved into the stone. Yeah,
so they find this description, and Methuselah calls over Matthias. So they call over Matthias, and he goes like, "Look at this, what I found." And they find this poem. They find this like ancient script, and it says, "Who says that I am dead knows not at all. I am that is 2 mice within Redwall. The warrior sweeps twixt hall and cavern hole. I am that is. Take on my mighty roll. Look for the sword in the moonlight, streaming forth at night when day's first hour reflect the north from." Over the threshold, seek and you will see. I am that is, my sword will wield for me. So they get the first clue, and they're thinking about it. They're trying to figure it out. They're like, "Oh, what could this mean?" And Matthias figures out that Matthias figures out that the phrase 2 mice within Redwall is a jumbled up, like it means that the two mice live in this Redwall. The two mice are the same, right? Is what he's saying, and they can't figure out what that means until Matthias says, it's just a bunch of jumbled words. And the Melusla figures out that the phrasing I dash am that is actually I, which is Martin, and am that is a jumbled
anagram.
It's an anagram for Matthias's name. So it's prophesied that somebody named Matthias is going to come and wield Martin's sword and be the next Martin the Warrior. And they're like, fuck yeah, let's go, yeet! So they figured out that part. So they figure out that am that is Matthias, right? And now they have to figure out the warrior sleeps twixt hall and cavern, which then they go and find the staircase that is between the cavern hole and the hall. And they figured out there is the word Redwall written up and down the stairs, right? It's written both ways. So if you're going up the stairs, you can read Redwall. If you're going down the stairs, you use Redwall. And they figure out that the letter W is always in the same place. So they figure out that, like, oh, it's this step. So they call over my least favorite fucking character.
It's so hard to read anything that they say.
Because they call over moles. And moles speak in a dialect that's like broken British English. They speak like somebody.
It's like Cockney ass.
Yes, they speak Cockney. That's what it is. They like pretty much.
He writes in the accent, so it's pretty hard to actually read it.
Like, I feel like I'm trying to read it and I'm having a stroke reading it.
Oh,
like,
I'm seizing up the whole time.
Because I already have a problem reading sometimes. So when you just shoot me down with like just this like let me see if I could find a line real fast. Wait.
I guess oh no.
What happened?
It's not like his intended audience was ever gonna have to read it.
Oh.
They're sure.
Somebody had to fucking read it though.
Woo! But it's not as bad as some other airborne characters that we'll meet later. I could not read anything they said, but the moles are indeed very hard to understand.
Which character? You mean the shrews?
Oh no. No, the birds, the sparrows.
Oh, the sparrows are easy to read. They just spoke. They spoke like when we speak like
your language.
They speak like broke brain. They go mouse warrior, worm food, warrior mice. It's very easy to. All right, Brad. Okay, I'm a sparrow. Fine. I have teal wings and bird. But yeah, so the moles speak in this Cockney tongue. They go, "Your mole got a lot of thought. Let him dig at the bone there." And I'm just like, huh? What? What? Huh? What? How? What? How? Let me see if I can copy this.
You normally, and the characters in the book also don't really understand what the fuck they're saying. So you normally understand what the moles are saying by what they do right after they finish talking.
Yeah, it's kind of just like, they go like, we're gonna, and 99% of the time, it's just like, yeah, we're gonna dig there.
Yeah, basically that's all they do is they're just like really great at excavation. That's all they do.
They good dig. So they go inside they bring up the stairs. It leads to a cavern. They go in there. They find Martin's tomb. The sword's not there, but he finds the shield and the belt. And they're like, oh, fuck, what do we do now? I'm lost. Now let's get
3-8 bags.
So now, hey, we got a belt and a shield. I'm gonna beat your ass. But so now they jump over to Cluny, who is now crippled, and they were able to get this old fox healer named Selah. Selah.
I said Selah in my head.
It is Selah. Me. So Selah and Chicken Hound, these two foxes, start healing Cluny.
Mother and son, by the way.
Mother and son. Old Selah and Chicken Hound. And Selah, it's a 2-timer. So she's going to heal Cluny, but she's also going to spy on them and sell the information to Redwall.
Big time wily foxes.
So Cluny Cluny is very smart. Like, that's his whole thing. He's very smart, but luck is not on his side because he's evil. That's just how it be. Mm-hmm. So he knows that Selah's going to lie to him. He knows that, like, the herbs are what's healing, not herb magic, right? But he realizes that she's just going to double cross him. got the hiccups. So he makes a fake plan to trick her into getting to give to Redwall, right? Because
it's pretty clever, to be honest. I was impressed with it. So this whole time, she's she's administering this like concoction of herbs and whatnot to Cluny to get him healed because this dude is supposed to be like bedridden for weeks. I mean, he was like pretty grievously injured during that fall, and so he kind of figures out that you can't trust this fox, and he's kind of always testing the loyalty of those around him because Cluny has a lot of power. He's got a lot of people like at his command, so a lot of people are vying to be, his right hand man, or they just want something out of him, or
they want to be the
him.
right hand man just for the plunder.
Because like he always tells his like his horde that he's gonna like, oh, my second in command, my lieutenants, they always get the best share of the plunder.
Yeah, so everybody's like
promises.
Everybody's like Pog.
So he writes. So he has a really sneaking suspicion that Selah is going to double cross him. So what he does is he stops taking his medication, but he pretends to do so because one of the side effects of his medication is that it puts him to sleep.
He gets sleepy.
So he like scrawls out a fake plan on a piece of parchment and then tucks it like haphazardly under his pillow to where like you can still see it if you're really looking. And then he fakes being asleep and waits to see what happens.
So, because Selah got Chicken Hound to sneak out by being smart, by giving him a scroll that people can't read because they're rats and they never learned how to read. So he goes to Redwall, and Constant double crosses them because he's like, oh, I'll go show this to the abbot, you stupid fox. But all she does is she bends over the wall, reads it herself, sits there for a second, comes back like, yeah, meet me at midnight over here and I'll give you your treasure for this information. Chicken Sound like, yum, 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 stupid idiot. I'm going to be rich.
She basically went to go see if they had any in the back.
Yeah.
She went around back, played on her phone, and walked back out. Was like, nah, we don't have any.
No, just meet me back there. I'll get your thing. So this is what clues Cluny in that like, oh, she's trying to double cross me. So she gets the plans. Seal is able to escape, but like not escape, but able to leave. But she has to take two with her, and she takes Redtooth and.
These names kill me. I'm sorry.
There's so many of them, and they die so
There's
quickly.
Like frog blood, mange fur. I love it.
Yeah, so it's like it's like Redtooth and another guy who dies. Who fucking cares, right? They all die. It doesn't.
And Rat Boy.
And Rat Guy and Redtooth go, and the fox is able to outfox them, and she goes to the meeting place where she met by Constance just fucking coming from behind, and her hands are so big, she starts choking this fox from behind with one fucking hand and lifts her up in the air and be like, give me the information, you stupid bitch. And she's like, and so
I fucking love Constance.
Yeah, and so she tells Constance the information, and Constance's like, yeah, I'll give you your treasure if you tell me the information. And she does, and then Constance just bonks her in the fucking head and knocks her unconscious. Which then Redtooth comes running and just all like, ha, I'm gonna stab you, you big badger. And Constance is just like, oh, cool, we can finally have our 1-on-1. Are you not gonna piss this time when I throw a table at you? So Constance like fighting this guy who's coming at her with a cutlass. She's got her bare hands. He gets like a couple of nicks on her, and then Constance grabs the sword, snaps it in two, grabs him by his tail, and fucking puts him into a tree.
Third yeet of the book, ladies and gentlemen.
The third yeet of the book against a tree and snaps his neck. And she just dusts her hands. She just got cut on the side, yeeted a man into a tree, and just goes like, all right, job's done, and leaves. And then the rat boy comes, finds Selah, dead Redtooth, and they're like, oh shit, we gotta lie to Cluny because this is bad, right? So
we can't tell him what actually happened.
We can't tell him what actually happened. So they go back to Cluny, but Redtooth, our old boy, slithery snake boy, Asmodeus comes, eats Redtooth's body, fucking gobbles him down.
He does, so. Pretty much everyone, all the creatures of this world agree that there's nothing scarier than like a fucking like viper. and so this is just like the terror of
I mean,
everybody.
because think
No
about
one
it.
stands a chance against the snake.
Because snakes are fucking big. You're a
Oh no,
tiny rat. You're a rat bigger than a mouse, but a snake will, because it can it also can because snakes can hypnotize people with certain snakes can hypnotize with their eyes, their prey. So that's why Asmodeus is so scary, is because you like you look into her fucking eyes, you get hypnotized, she eats you, right?
well, nighty night time.
99 time, baby. So then they go back to Cluny, and they lie a bunch.
Which always ends well.
Always ends well. So now we come back to Matthias, who they figured out that that they have to find a place that faces north, which they figure out that.
Oh yeah, this is a part of the riddle. The riddle, like they keep uncovering these riddles, and one of the riddles references.
Look for the sword in the moonlight streaming forth at night when day's first hour reflects the north.
There it is.
So they realize that because it says from over the threshold seek and you will see. And they figured out that the threshold is the gatehouse of Redwall. So they go to the gatehouse and they're like, fuck. I can't figure out what's happening. They're like,
what am I supposed to see?
They're confused
Where do I
and
look?
stuff. But eventually they find this like cut hole that points north that has like symbols of the moon around it. And old Constance comes back from her yeeting and she's like, hey, what are you guys up to? And they're like, you stupid bitch, you won't understand. They're kind of mean to her, which is really fucked up. But she's like, haha, you stupid. No, you guys are the idiots. Those are the phases of the moon. Also, this hole right here is cut so the shield can fit in it to reflect something, right? And they're like, oh my god, Constance, you beautiful bastard. You smart genius. So she big brains it, figures out where that they have to find the first hour of a new day during the full moon. So the first hour of the new day is 1 o'clock. So they have to wait till 1 o'clock until the moon, the next full moon, which lucky enough, it's June, and the next full moon is tomorrow. So they're like, pog.
All-nighter time, baby.
So they do some exposition, once again, they eat food. Of course they do. They describe it, vegetable soup, tea time, whatever. Always eating food. It always sounds delicious. It's always just like very like sweet, like candy nuts with like cream and vegetable salads and stuff. It always sounds very pleasant. It never sounds like disgusting like mice food, you know?
Well, Harry Potter did that too. I don't know why, that just leapt into my brain. When you read like everything they're eating in like the Great Hall, it's just like, God.
Hey, fun fact about Harry Potter is that I read the first 3 books and then I had a reading disability growing up that I had to go to special classes for, and the 4th Harry Potter book was the first book that I couldn't read.
Really?
So I fucked those books. Made me feel stupid. Yeah. So, but yeah, Redwall was always easier to read to me, except for the mole speak. But yeah,
yeah, that's a nice. Yeah, Redwall is like, it's such a smooth read. It's not. The language is beautiful. It's not simple. It's not simplistic. It's just very easy to read. So enjoyable.
Yeah,
I love this fucking book.
It was a good book, but that was a fun side tangent about my crippling reading ability as a child.
Hey, I had to take speech classes because I couldn't speak very well.
Oh yeah, I went to his whole a special class specifically for my disability for a year, and then I could read like at a college level after that. It just was like something about like my short term to long term that I had to go to like special classes to teach me. Like, I pretty much went to a tips and tricks on how to read class for a year.
You watched the YouTube video.
I read Reading for Dummies, but so they put the shield in after having a delicious afternoon tea or midnight tea or nighttime tea. They have a lot of tea time. So, oh, sorry. My nose.
But they set this shield down into this like notched surface on the wall, and they await for 1 a.m. to arrive. And when it does, they're kind of like standing around like, all right, well, I don't want to like miss this. What the fuck's going on? And they realize that at 1 a.m. on a full moon, the light of the moon will reflect off the shield on this exact spot, and it will shine like a beacon to where you're supposed to look. Is that right? Did I do that right?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So they were able to shine it, and it showed the weather vane. So they figured out, oh shit, the sword's in the weather vane, which I did forget to mention. I don't remember when this happened, but I feel like there was something important we're missing out. Where
About what? Because we've covered the high points here.
No, we forgot something really important. I just realized we somehow skipped over this whole. At one point before all of this happens with the shield, and the shield and the belt, Matthias actually leaves at one point to go get the tapestry back, right?
Well, yes.
This happened before this, I realized.
We skipped like one of the greatest characters.
We did, which we will back. We are backpedaling because I thought this happened after for some reason, but it happens before. So Matthias thinks, I'm gonna go get the tapestry. This actually happened in book 1. I can't believe we totally missed over this.
Our boy Basil.
Because this introduces my favorite character. So he goes towards the church, and he actually ends up meeting this rabbit who's really good at camouflage named Basil Stag Hair. He's just this quirky dude. He kind of reminds me of like a prankster.
Oh, he's a weirdo for sure. He's a class clown.
You know who he is? He's Bugs Bunny. He's literally Bugs Bunny, because he does like a lot of like the what's up, Doc, and he jumps around and shit.
Yep.
So, but this was but this all just comes to like Basil being like, he's like this ex-military man who just kind of like lives in the woods alone, and they can't get the tapestry back because Cluny has left to invade Redwall at this point, and Matthias doesn't realize this, but they were able to save a family of voles. So it wasn't all lost because they were able to save the family of voles, and then they got Basil Hair, right? Because this is also important because Matthias gets separated from Basil Hair and the vole family because he's trying to distract some rats, and he gets lost in the wood, but then he gets saved by a little squirrel, Silent Sam. He gets saved by this squirrel who sucks. This is he puts his whole paw in his mouth to suck, not his thumb. He shoves the whole paw. So imagine a baby just sucking on their fist. I don't know if babies really do that. I always thought it was just their thumb, but like this motherfucker, whole fist in his mouth, just like
chews the whole thing. And Brian always talks about like how much this little dude is sucking on his hand, and there will be sentences where it's just suck, suck, suck.
Yes.
And he's just like, just gobbling it down.
And like, that's my favorite line is like, Matthias is like, at least I know I can't get lost because I can always hear. And then it's followed by suck, suck, suck. Well, yes, that introduces Silent Sam and Basil Stag Hair. Basil Stag Hair
is just basically Tom Bombadil.
Yeah. But he has a purpose. But he's not just a cheery dude who lives in the woods. But yeah, he's the Bugs Bunny of Redwall. And you meet Silent Sam. The reason that I remember that we totally forgot about Silent Sam is because they figured out that the sword is in the weather vane, right?
It's really fucking high up there.
Yeah, and
mice can't just climb up the side of this fucking tower.
This building's probably like 100 feet tall. Probably roughly like that.
It's 100 mouse feet. I don't know.
It might 100 mouse feet.
I don't know how fucking tall this thing actually is.
No, there's no height. There's no height. I try not to look at babies because babies freak me out. Do not.
Wyatt did do that. My nephew. Just babies are
gonna throw that baby right in the dumpster. I mean, what?
Right in the trash.
But so because Silent Sam's mom, Jess the squirrel.
Jess Squirrel, she's a good lady.
She is the best climber. So they figure out to the weather vane. Jess is like, "Don't worry, I'll climb up the wall." So Jess climbs up the wall, gets to the weather vane, and then she starts climbing back down, and she gets attacked by sparrows. They start just fucking trying to stab her. They're like,
"This is where we live. You can't be up here.
We own roof. I beat your ass. Worm food, mouse food, worm, rat, beat your ass."
He's getting like, they're trying to peck her to death while she's like scurrying down the side of this fucking tower.
So Constance summons over a bunch of archers, and they shoot one of them down, who they end up like keeping as a prisoner. Like Constance runs over, pulls the arrow out of this fucking bird's leg, throws a heavy basket over them, right? But then Jess comes down and I'm like, sorry, bro, there was a sword place, but no sword. And Matthias is like, fuck, man. God damn it.
All for nothing. What do we do?
Matthias, like, has mood swings that I love, that he goes from all, like, we're doing it, to, like, oh, they hit a dead end. He's like, we're fucking lost, man. We're gonna die.
I am Matthias.
Yeah. Where it's just like, everything's going great. One bad thing happens. We're all gonna fucking die.
It's all
Life sucks. I hate everything. But, so.
Damn, that's too real.
Hey, Matthias, don't worry. I'm gonna put you in a hole.
Magister Matthias. I got a new name, everybody.
Magister Matthias. Ayo. But, so, Matthias then ends up talking to the bird. And the bird is named Warbeak. And she just cusses at him all the time and is like, I'm gonna fucking murder you. I'm gonna fucking murder you. I'm gonna murder you. Mouse food, rat, worm, rat, worm.
She's like, I imagined her as like a very like stout Irish manlet.
Yeah. But just
she's very combative.
She wants her draft and she wants to stab you. She wants to break a bottle over your head. But then they figure out that the sparrows probably stole the sword. So then he is like, all right, Warbeak, you're going to take me to your leader. Because they figured out that they can get to the roof through the abbey. And he's
this abbey is filled with like hidden passages and like, you know, it's
like
it's
all
one of those,
abbey,
like, get out the blueprints moment.
Like all abbey should. It should all be built like, sorry, I just laid down in my Papazon chair. I got real cozy.
Ooh, look at you go.
Oh, look at me go. But, so Matthias and Warbeak go on an adventure, and they climb up to the roof. Shenanigans happen where, like, Warbeak hates Matthias because he's a dirty rat, but then, like, he frees Warbeak from, like, he, like, untangles Warbeak and just, like, pins her wings so she's more comfortable and doesn't use the collar anymore. Because
so they had her on a collar, obviously, because the bird could just, like,
the bird wants to peck, because Matthias falls at one point and Warbeak tries to beat his ass. And he's like, yo, what the fuck? And then, like, Warbeak falls and Matthias catches her and saves her life. And, like, she's like, oh, we're friends now.
Yeah, we're cool.
We're cool. You saved my life, I saved... Yeah, it's like, you saved my life, I saved your life. So they eventually are able to get to the rooftop where the latch is. And they open up... So they open up the latch to the roof, where they are then met by a bunch of sparrows, and
so many sparrows,
yeah.
Like all of them in this one room.
Yeah, they live on the roof, but also, not in the roof. They live in like the parapets. I think what is like this the rafters. Like they live in the rafters. Yeah, they live in the rafters, but they somehow had to climb outside to get there too.
I had a hard time visualizing some of it.
Yes.
But all you need to know is they're way up tippy top and they live inside.
Birds in sky. It's scary.
Birds in sky.
So like King Bull Spara. So they're not
I hate saying it.
They don't say sparrow. They're known as sparas.
In their language, which is, as we said, very broken. Their king, Jordan said, named Bull King Spara. And he's just a fucking psycho.
He's
man is unhinged.
Yeah, he's like a crazy dude, and he like is like, we're gonna kill Matthias, and then Warbeak's mother Dune Wing is like, no, don't, she saved my baby. And King is like, all right, gets the collar after ripping open Matthias's bag, and is like, all right, Dune Wing, he could be your slave now. And I'm just like, huh? What?
they took my boy. They took all of his belongings. They picked through his bag, which had these like candied like pecans or some shit.
Chestnuts. It's chestnuts because there's a big chestnut tree.
And the king was just like, "Oh, these are dope. Oh, I'm gonna like take all of these. You should get like
all these nuts, mine. But also, you're my sister's pet now. Bye, bitch." So then,
you're lucky I don't eat you.
And then. This is my least... Hands down, this is actually my least favorite part of the book.
It's easily the worst part of the book.
So, they just do, like, these sparrow shenanigans where Matthias is just pretty much just a prisoner in the sparrow's home. But Dune Wing knows why Matthias is there after Matthias talks to him about trying to find the sword. And Dune Wing's like, oh, my husband died because the king dropped the sword, commanded my husband to get the sword from a snake that he dropped it on. And the snake kills him, right? So Dune Wing is out of a mom. Dune Wing is out of a husband. Warbeak doesn't have a dad because the king is so shitty. And so Matthias is trying to find this, but Matthias figures out he has the scabbard. So he thinks oh, let me try to escape. So he finds more candy nuts, tries to give it to the king. The king is like, no, fuck you. Steals Matthias's belt and shield because he's like, wait, this is mine now, loser. Whatever.
These are the missing items in my collector set.
To get your freedom, you have to bring me 1,000 candy nuts. And Matthias is like, what? But
you never even let me leave the room.
Yeah, right? It's one of those things. It's like, well, you could buy your freedom, but I don't make any money. That kind of thing. So
I'll wind up on a slaver's market on Orpheus Prime.
Oh, God, please. No! No!
Just a little Cheryl Brooks throwback for the
God.
Boy Scouts.
The boys. So,
boys.
So, Dune Wing decides a plan to get everybody out of the place so Matthias can escape because she was able to talk to the squirrel to come save Matthias, right? But Matthias goes and steals the belt back and the sword scabbard. But then King Bull comes back early and is like, I'm going to kill this mouse. And kills the mouse, right? So, so that's the end of that. Matthias is fucking dead. Gets sucked up by a gust of wind, by a bird, dead. Jess sees him die, is just like, fuck, he's dead, bro. So, go back to Cluny. So, now that he's feeling better, he's come up with a new plan. Because the battering ram plan that he sold to Sayla to break down the gate is actually a subterfuge because he's going to get ferrets to dig a hole for him into Redwall, right?
So while he's trying to actually batter down the main gate to Redwall, he's going to be around back digging under. And so it's this fucking beautiful two-pronged attack. And he's totally going to get him this time, guys.
But so Chicken Hound and Sayla eavesdrop. Cluny catches him eavesdropping, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm tired of you betraying me. Die." So they go and kill him, right? But they don't kill Chicken Hound. They only stab him in his leg and the scruff of his neck. But his mom dies, and they describe it like, "Oh yeah, his dead mother's corpse lays on him as he pretends to be dead so he can escape."
Yeah, okay. They throw their bodies in a ditch, and he's just laying under his mom, and he has to wait until nightfall to make his escape so he's not seen.
And I'm
he's just hanging out with his dead mom.
And I'm like, God damn, this is now I'm just thinking damn, this is for blind kids. Damn,
it's for blind children.
It's for blind kids. So Chicken Hound is able to get to Redwall. They treat his wounds. And he gives them the information that they're digging a tunnel. So now they know about the battering ram and the tunnel. And Cluny doesn't realize they know about the tunnel, just about the battering ram. So Chicken Hound repays them by being healed and brought back to life by robbing them. So he then robs them. And while this is happening, Jess and Basil actually went on a sneaking mission and stole back the tapestry.
They did it.
So there's a chapter about them stealing the tapestry. They come back, give the tapestry back. Everybody's super excited. Tapestry's back. Methuselah, our boy, while Mathis is trapped with the sparrows, everybody's just like, he's probably fine. Methuselah is sewing back the tapestry because he's a magical man with good eyes. Even though he's older than fucking dirt, he's got good enough eyes to sew back this tapestry perfectly, I guess. So Chicken Hound then steals. And he's gets caught by Friar Hugo. Hugo's like, thief! And then he's runs past Methuselah. And Methuselah tries to stop him. And fucking Chicken Hound whacks Methuselah with this big bag of metal loot and kills him instantly. Methuselah gets no plot armor. Because, everybody else has been kind of, hit and cut. And it should have killed anyone. But, gets hit by one bag. Dead. Instantly fucking dead. Crumples to the ground. So Chicken Hound escapes. But guess what? Chicken Hound doesn't escape because he gets into the forest. Oops! Asmodeus ate him. Big
Oops,
old
all
snake. Oops, all snake. So now we're caught up to Matthias dying, and before Matthias died, Methuselah's dead. They got the tapestry back though. So tapestry back. Hooray! Everybody's happy. Oh no, Methuselah and Mathis are both dead. Fuck!
Two of our most important characters have died.
But they go to fish to take their mind off it, and they find King Bull Sparrow's body, and they're like, why didn't we check the lake for Mathis? We checked everywhere else but the lake.
Quick, call the police. Let's drag the lake for bodies.
Yeah, so they drag the lake for bodies. Guess what? They find Mathis's body. Uh-oh, he's not dead. So now we have the sad scene of Mathis being in the hospital with Basil Hare, who he sprained his ankle getting the tapestry back, but he's hamming it up, being like, oh, I need 18 berry pies to fix my war leg.
A lot of ale, my old honorable war.
Please, I want to get fucking lit. My leg hurts. Oh. Fucking love that character. He's so dumb. He's like, I need to eat 18 pies and drink 4 cups of ale to heal my leg. And it was like, yeah, man, whatever. You got the tapestry back. So then Cornflower breaks the news to Mathis that his best friend is dead. Methuselah got crumpled like a fucking paper bag. And he's like, I'm sad now. And Basil Hare's like, no crying, little boy, no crying. That's not what a warrior would do. Warriors would avenge their friend. And he's
no crying in Redwall.
And he talks to him about hey, you can go find the snake. I have an old buddy named Captain Snow, who's a snow owl who he saved his life, and he brings out this shirt that's decorated with medals from Basil's war days, and he gives him a medal that the snow captain gave him, which who's making these medals?
Dude,
because there's no forge anywhere. Who's making these medals?
I want an entire side series on the Bunny Wars.
I think there might be. Who knows?
There probably is.
There's
honestly,
because technically there's 20. I think there's 23 books, and Redwall is technically 11th in the chronological order.
Oh God, I thought it was third. I didn't
know there's a lot before. So yeah,
well, damn.
Yeah. I read all these as a kid, and then I don't remember a lot because broke brain, small, tiny brain, don't remember a lot.
These were just books I saw at Scholastic Book Fairs.
And
I was like, maybe.
You're like, rat, that's gross. Do not want Captain Underwear, Captain Underpants, I mean.
Now that's literature.
Now that's literature. So Basil Hare cheers up Matthias by being like, hey, go find this owl. Here's a medal. Show it to the owl, and he'll tell you where the snake is, right? And Mathis, who's fucking injured, is like, all right, I'll go on a quest. So he escapes to go on this quest, and everybody's like, where's Mathis? And then Mathis disappears a lot, and they go, where's Mathis? And they go I don't know, he's probably on a quest. And they go I guess his baby can be on a quest.
Even though last time we found him, he was dead.
Yeah, last time he almost died, but he can go on a quest again. What is he doing this time? Fighting a snake? That's fine. So they don't have time to worry about where Mathis goes because Cluny is now invading again. And he's got the battering ram, and he's just smashing against the door. And they're like, oh, fuck. And they're trading lives back and forth with arrows and spears and all of that. So that battling is happening. While Matthias goes on this quest, he meets old Logalog, who he meets this group of shrews who are the Gorilla Shrew Union, who control this.
Unionize.
They're 500 shrews who unionize, who control a small part of Mossflower Woods, and they're all like, why? And they speak through. If you're not holding a rock, you can't talk. So they ask Matthias what he's doing. Matthias explains that he's going on a warrior quest, and they're like, oh, dope, we'll come with you. So they go on the quest. They're fucking shrews. They talk really fast. They argue all the time. They eat a lot.
Fighting. Big group, brawls.
But also,
they have to very quickly bring order to the chaos.
Well, because, you know why? Because, I think if I put this together correctly, he based the personality of each character on what kind of being they are, right? So like shrews are angry and fast talking because shrews are very fast and they're easily irritable, right?
I love this picture of a shrew I just pulled up on my computer.
They're very small. They're very poison. They're very poisonous. They also have to eat a lot to survive. They have to eat like 20 times their body weight because they burn calories so fast, or they'll die. let me pull up this boy.
You need to.
Oh, that explains why he gave, because like in each chapter he draws a little picture, so that explains like why he like had like the shrews have like these huge Squidward noses.
Look at him.
He's a chunky lad. But so they were able to go across the river. They make it to a barn where supposedly the owl lives. So Matthias goes into the bar. He accidentally trips and gets swallowed by a cat. And then the cat spits him out and goes like, "I'm a vegetarian." That's how pretty much either the cat talks like this or he talks like this. I can't decide. He talks like this. So this cat named Squire Julian Gingervire,
So good.
who's my second favorite character. It's like, oh, me and the owl were fighting. He doesn't live in this barn anymore. He lives over there. A lot of this book is like a lot of back and forth. Like, yes. A lot of this book is the phrase, "This could have been a meet. This could have been an email" kind of feeling a lot.
It's a bunch of fetch quests.
It is. It feels like a bunch of, like, it's fun to read, but like the same fun to read, like it is fun to do a fetch quest, you know?
Yeah.
It gives you the same satisfaction of doing a fetch quest. But knowing that it's written for blind people, he's just trying to like be more descriptive and like really go into detail about what's happening. But
we're not the target audience.
We're not blind people. God.
That changed everything when I learned that.
It changed. But he finds the owl. Owl's kind of crazy. He gives him the medal and he goes like, "Where's the sword?" He's like, "Oh, the snake lives in the quarry." And he's like, Matthias is all like, "I bet I could beat that snake's ass." And the owl's like, "No, you fucking can't." And Matthias is like, bet. So they make a deal that if Matthias is able to come back and has killed the snake, the owl won't eat mice and shrews anymore, and he'll apologize to the cat, because the cat and the owl are fighting. They're best friends, but they're fighting, you know? It's like
so he makes all these like ridiculous promises because it's like he's never gonna kill.
Yeah, dude.
I'll promise you whatever you want.
It makes, like what Aaron said, it makes the owl and the cat look like a broken up couple.
Definitely. I agree.
Like they lived in the barn together, and the cat was mad because the owl was leaving his bones around from his prey. So it was like, Jesus Christ. So he talks to the shrews. The shrews are like, "We're not gonna come," and he's like, "Fuck you guys, I'm gonna go fight a snake." So he goes, and then he's very cold and sad. But the shrews come back because they're like, "Yo, you're our homie, Matt." This Matt's like, "Fuck yeah, bro, let's go." So they go to the quarry. They try to wait for the snake because they realize the snake has gone out to eat. They realize that the snake came back, ate one of the shrews. He's back in the quarry. They go to the quarry. They find the entrance. He finds the sword and the sleeping snake. They get the sword. The snake chases them. They dig a hole. They fall into the hole. He fucking beheads the snake, right? As he's like having this fucking cool ass moment where he's like, "For Redwall, for my bros." He's like naming all these people while killing the snake. It's really fucking cool.
There's
Love
totally
it.
Like trumpets in the back. I mean, it's definitely an epic moment.
Because he's like, "I'm the warrior mouse. I have to save my friend." Kills the snake.
This is where he realizes his true potential.
Yes, exactly. He realizes, like, I'm a warrior. I've grown into my shoes. Do you know what I realized? They never talk about him tripping on his shoes anymore because I think he grows into his sandals over the course of the book to show his character growth.
Physically grew in size in a short period.
I wish he physically became Gru from Despicable Me. Banana.
We can't have everything we want. All right, podcast over. It was good.
Banana.
Nope, we're done.
Banana!
Nope. I will not do this with you. I
won't
engage you.
So, then they have some more fucking meandering, which I'm just like, Jesus, please!
Get to the fucking point. They're all dying in Redwall.
Because the Redwall is being fucking beat up, right? But eventually they're able to like they throw a bunch of bees at them, and then they cover the battering ram in oil. So we go back to the fight. They throw a bunch of bees at them and then cover the battering ram in oil. Takes care of that.
Hold on now.
What?
Let's dig into that just a little bit. So the mice on the wall, they're being overtaken by the horde of rats, and they're starting to splinter the main wall with this battering ram, and pretty soon they're probably gonna start throwing up fucking ladders and like climbing up. Like, what are we gonna do? And so for some ungodly reason, they have these like barrels of wasps.
Well, what they do is they find them. I think they just grab a barrel and shove the wasp net in there and they just close the thing on them.
I guess this is kind of like the fourth yeet. This isn't by Constance. I'm sure she did it herself, but they throw these barrels off the side, and these rats get like stung to death. And then they like pour a bunch of like oil and shit all over the battering ram, so they can't hold it anymore. And there's like everyone's slipping and sliding or being stung to death, and there's just bodies everywhere. It's just a real. I wanted to give that just a little more attention because I think it's an insane moment in the book.
It is pretty wild that they do just throw hornets and cover something in oil, and they're like, "Aha, got him." Because now they're digging the hole in the back, right? So now the battering plan is over, but Cluny's all like, that doesn't matter to me because I still have my hole in the back. So Cluny leaves and he puts Cheese Thief in charge while he's gone to go check on the hole. And Constance fucking makes a crossbow and is like, at night when I see Cluny's shadow, I'ma blast him. But little
this giant fucking crossbow.
But literally, Cheese Thief, his name comes to bite him in the ass because he gets inside of Cluny's tent and starts eating his cheese and wearing his armor because he's like, oh, it feels good to be captain. And so Constance sees the armor and he's like, blast him, shoots him, fucking kills Cheese Thief. And he realizes as Cluny comes back after Cheese Thief is dead, literally Cheese Thief dies, and it feels like Cluny comes in from stage left exactly at the moment, and he's just like, hey, what's happening? They're like, Cheese Thief's dead. He's like, fuck, that was for me! And then Constance sees him and goes like, damn it, that was for you!
It was a really great exchange, though. And I mean, but this arrow was also huge, so he wasn't just like stabbed with a normal arrow. Like, he was demolished by like a bolt.
Oh yeah, it was made from a candle extinguisher, which are long wood.
This dude got fucking wrecked.
He got fucking...
And now they've damaged Cluny's world.
Which they fix, which, it's literally just like, oh, my armor.
Gotta restore the plot armor.
Yeah, you gotta restore the plot armor. So he's just like, whatever, I got my hole. I'm gonna win because I'm gonna get my hole. Which, so, Kill Coney comes back, and he tells Cluny that, like, oh, the hole's ready, and they're like, all right, let's go invade the hole, right?
Launch the assault.
And so they have the moles listening for the holes, and they can hear the whole plan they have about where the holes are. So these moles who are good at digging, who literally their main job is rescuing animals out of collapsed burrows, they set up where the holes are, and they then set up 2 boiling pots of water where they know where the rats are going to come out of. And this part is so fucked up to me, especially now that I know that blind children have read this. So they finally start going the hole and they dig out, and our boy Darkclaw, it like pops his head out and he looks around and he's like, oh, look at these dumb rats around me. They're probably playing some game. And he turns around and he sees 2 boiling pots of water and he goes like, that's weird. And Constant, the 5th yeet of the book, pushes the pot of boiling hot water down the whole tunnel, and all the rats and ferrets and stoats and stuff in the tunnel are being fucking boiled alive in this tunnel. And then to add insult to injury, they go to the areas where they marked off this coordinate and start jumping next to it, so then it causes the whole tunnel to collapse on these rats who are being boiled alive and then buried in earth.
It is so fucking cool.
I'm just like, holy shit, what the fuck is happening? And then when this happens, Cluny just mentally snaps. Like, he breaks. Like, his brain shuts down at this
He's
point.
unhinged. He can't process like this level of like loss, and he just shuts up. He just stops talking.
He just takes a
for
nap.
like
He goes and takes a nap. And everybody's like, oh my god, is the boss okay? And he's all like, I've come up with a plan. So they kidnap this family of dormice, who then, he builds a great fire, and he takes the dead dormouse, and he like holds him on the fire. He's like, what would you do for your family? And they're like, and he's like, I'll do anything. He's like, all right, you're gonna, because they're fixing the wall now, because Cluny has retreated at this point, because everything's gone to shit. So he's retreated to regroup. So they're fixing the wall, and he's like, all right, go sneak into Redwall and unhinge the doors for me. Here's some grease. Go take out the screws. And he's like, would my family be safe? And Cluny's like, yeah, bud.
sure.
Yeah,
sure.
bud. Yeah,
sure,
bud.
Jan.
So Dormice, being a little mouse, was able to sneak in the Redwall because he just like starts helping them fix the wall. And they're like, all right, whatever. Who are you? You're part of the Moss Woods. You're cool. So then he sneaks in and he unhinges the door and he gives the sign. So they're able, the Cluny's horde is able to now burst into Redwall, right? Waltz right in. And best part is, they fucking beat Mr. Dormouse right over the head. Plumppen. His name was Plumppen. That's what his name was. Old Plumppen. They hit old Plumppen over the head with a cudgel. And you're like, oh, damn, Plumppen, I loved him. Now he's dead. Dang it.
There's a lot of head bonking in this book.
A lot of head bonking. So they go and take over Redwall. They take, they get to everybody while they're sleeping, take the knives to them, and they gather everybody in the courtyard. And while Matthias has his sword, he's hanging out with his owl bro, his mouse fam, and his shrew family, right? But so like Cluny has taken over Redwall while Matthias is going on a fucking hero's quest, but now it's coming all circle because now he's got the shrew. Then he actually meets Warbeak again, who we thought he would never see again. And they speak in their dumb sparrow language. Oh, mouse food. Warbeak sad. Abby bad. And they go like, what? He's like, big nasty ratworm. Break in. Held everybody hostage. Like, oh, fuck, let's go. So now Matthias has 500 shrews, an owl, a cat, and 1,000 sparrows on his side, right?
Gonna wreck shit.
So he's like taking this whole army to Redwall while Cluny's all like, I'm the winner. Me. I've won. I'm the winner. Bow to me, Abbott. Fuck you. Surrender to me or I'll... Fuck you. I'm the winner. Fuck you. And Abbott's all like, no, you're evil and stink and you're gonna kill me no matter what. And Matthias comes through the back door and it's like, no, he comes through the front gate and he's just like, hey, idiot. And like, fucking Cluny turns around and he's like, oh my god, this is the mouse that's been haunting my dreams. What the fuck? So he's all like, get that mouse. And then the fucking 1,000 sparrows block out the sun and start raining down on Cluny's horde. And then the shrews and swarms come out from the back. And there's just this all-out brawl happening in the middle of Redwall, like, courtyard. Like, they're freeing everybody. Everybody's picking weapons. Everybody's just fucking killing each other. And then Martin's just like, I'm gonna kill you, Cluny. And Cluny's like, fuck you. And they start having this really cool sword fight. Like, it's actually, like, really well done where, like, he's, like, just, like, able to meet Cluny in every way, blocking all, like, the dirt he's throwing on him, all the swords, the stabbing, his fucking tail. He's able to beat Cluny up. Cluny then stabs Abbott Mortimer, which, oh, my boy. But, like, that makes Matthias even more angry. So he's fighting Cluny. They fight through the whole courtyard into the abbey, into the bell tower, which Friar Hugh has been ringing the bell the whole time. And, Matthias is able to get up the bell tower, but fucking Cluny finds Friar Hugo, and he's like, give me the sword, I'll kill this fat fuck. And Matthias is all like, no, he makes really good pies. No, fuck, I'll give you my sword. And fucking audibly winks. And so he's like, but first, I swear on my honor I'll give you a sword, but let go of Friar Hugo first. And he's like, Haha, stupid honor. I'll let go of this fat rat. So he lets go of the fat rat, and Matthias is all like, psych! And he cuts the bell out, and it fucking crushes Cluny to death. He's like, you did say I couldn't kill you first. And I'm just like, that's fucking lit. Boy went on a mission.
A lot of pretty good, like, one-liners and, like, just...
But a lot of, like, weird, like, one-liners that would think, like, he was a penny. He's flattened like a penny. Old car door over here. They say, like, a lot of weird idioms that doesn't fit in the world.
Oh, yeah. No, they're totally, like, out of context.
So...
But, hey, it's Redwall.
Hey, it's Redwall. Fuck you. It's written for blind kids.
God.
Here's a
new low standard.
Here's a gift subs for all the blind kids out there who are watching my stream.
They're not watching anything, Jordan.
How could you? So the battle's won, but bodies litter the floor. Like, they're just like, oh man, we lost a lot of good homies. But fuck, the rats lost way more. Pog! They're so excited. And then they find Abbott Mortimer's dying body. And he's just like, I'm not gonna make it. And they're all like, you can't die. He's like, don't worry, Matthias is just like laying there and he's dying. And he's just like, Matthias. And they're just like, and he's like, you will be the next Abbott, but you'll be a warrior mouse and you'll protect everybody. And he's like, I'll do it for you. And then Mortimer does the most base wingman thing ever. And he's like, get me cornflower. Oh, get me cornflower.
Yeah.
Get me cornflower. And cornflower comes over. And cornflower comes over and he's like, you're gonna marry my boy Matthias. He needs a hot woman like you to bear his children. And then dies. He fucking dies. He's like, Matthias, you're the leader now. Also, Cornflower, you have to marry him. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck?
Just goes out with one last like wingman activity for the home.
Right? He's just like, don't worry, I got you, Matthias. You saved us.
Right before he dies.
And then everybody's really sad. And then, like, the end of the book is like a year later, where they're having a day of remembrance of the Battle of Redwall, the Battle of the Late Summer Rose, as it's known as. And they're celebrating. They have Cornflower and Matthias have a fat little child named Mortimer. No, his name is Mathemo, because they combined Methuselah, Mortimer, and Martin together, and they call this poor fucking child Mathemo. And
Dude,
I'm like,
he committed one of the book sins that I hate is, like, anytime main characters have children, they're just the worst mishmash combination of other main characters.
And if I remember correct, I'm not gonna lie, if I remember correctly, I think Mathemo is one of my least favorite books. I think Mathemo, if I remember correctly, Mathemo is really annoying in his book. Like, he's kind of
the same character who gets his own book. Is that?
Yeah. It's actually the first sequel after Redwall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's actually the next book technically. So it goes Redwall, Mathemo, but like Mathemo is numbered 10 in the books linear. But like,
I think about those illustrations, I know in the Kindle version they actually have those still. Those are retained in the book, so I got to see all those little illustrations. They're really cool. I love them. They added a nice little flourish to the beginning.
Yeah, I like, because they always just like have like cute little things about them. But yeah, man, like, I can't believe his last dying word was like, fuck my boy Matthias. I can't get over that. I literally laughed out loud. Like, the whole time I'm reading this book, I'm like, I'm having a good time. But that part, it fucking cracked me out. Because he's literally like, give him, suck my boy's dick.
Because he's a homie. That's a big homie.
That's a true homie music. Die and get your homie laid. All right, I'm on it now. Now we're getting some interesting facts from Aaron that I will read out loud when he gets them. So there are small little, like, before each chapter, there's like little pictures of what's happening. Of like, for like the wasp chapters, there's a picture of a wasp. For the shrew chapters, like little pictures of shrew. Like each little picture, like illustrated, like shows what's gonna happen in the chapter. It's real cute.
But yeah, apparently, let me see. I think on the Wikipedia page there are some of the discrepancies in like the series. Let me pull it up.
Pull up those discrepancies.
Oh, we're gonna read some discrepancies right here.
There's also a very bad cartoon.
Yeah.
It's animated like those old, really bad, like Christian animations.
Oh, you're right. It does look like that.
Yeah. And it like takes a lot, it like kind of like changes the story a little bit.
Where are you, Redwall? There you are. I found you. Okay, so first one. So this is the only book in the entire series that makes any mention of domesticated animal. Animals mentioned in this book, but never again in the series, are horses, dogs, cows, and pigs. And additionally, the abbot mentions a village where dog and pig reside, perhaps implying a human habitation. But in the books following this, the world of Redwall is inhabited by only wild fauna. So we don't it's just he hadn't built this world yet. He didn't know what if were there humans here or what. Apparently, it says foxes are indicated in Redwall as not inherently evil. It is mentioned that Abbot Mortimer used to trade tomes with a wandering healer fox. Didn't Selah have a book about her or something? Or Chicken Hound?
So let me see. Let me find it real fast because there is a book about foxes. It's called
Fox.
Yeah, but I don't think it's about him. I think Marla Fox is like, it's about, I think if I remember correctly, it's about like a mercenary fox.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, no. Okay, no, they learn that Marla Fox will attempt to seize Redwall and hasten onward to warn them. Oh, okay, so it's about Marla Fox trying to take over Redwall.
Oh, but apparently Chicken Hound goes on to he's a character in later books, and his name he takes on the name Slagar the Cruel.
Wait, how the fuck does he survive? He gets attacked by Asmodeus.
I don't know. It says Chicken Hound, later known as Slagar the Cruel, was the son of Selah the Healer from Mossflower Woods. I don't know where I'm trying to find out where it says how he survived that, but I guess this is like a Boba Fett Sarlacc pit situation.
So Aaron's saying that the main good guy never kills the main bad guy. He always gets killed in some other way, but the other good guys just straight up kill. Because Matthias does cut a ferret straight in half at one point while fighting Cluny.
Interesting.
You don't remember?
Death for death.
Did you remember that, Brad?
Where he cleaves a man in twain?
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all, but that sounds fucking badass.
Yeah, okay, wait. I need to find this because this is like...
I would mostly read at night, when I would get in bed, and then I would fall asleep reading. So I'm sure there are things that I would miss.
Okay, wait. Let me find this. I need to find this because this is like... Yeah. So, it was Kilconey. So Kilconey, the ferret grappled vainly, but was cloven in two with one swift stroke.
Jesus. My boy's got an arm.
Matthias was like, I have a sword now. Time to kill. I'm ready to murder. I have become... Father, I crave violence. But yeah, we kind of just quickly summarized it. Because I don't want to give every single detail about a book. Because maybe I'll leave some stuff out so you guys can go read it yourself. Because Redwall, it's it's a good book. It's nothing. It doesn't do anything amazing. It's just a fun time, and especially if you've got young kids, I would definitely introduce them to Redwall. Because technically, it was written for young kids, and it's just it's a good time, and it's fun. I remember I always enjoyed it as a kid, and I was always had an affinity for rodents and stuff, so it really spoke to me. I always thought it was just super cute.
I'm 100% gonna read other books in this series, on my own.
Yeah, there's a book about a badger that I like a lot that I wish I remember. It's Loom Hedge is one of my favorite because it's about a badger slave who goes on a journey, and it's so good. It's one of my favorite. Love them. Love anything about the Badgers. I'm just like, fuck it. Love the Badgers.
The last
Love those
book
big. What's up?
I'm trying to find out when the last book was written.
2011. The Rogue Crew was the last book, but I don't think that was actually. I feel like it was finished by his son. I think, or no, it was actually the last book he wrote before he died. That's what it was.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Yeah, he died in February 2011, and then
Yeah.
it came out a few months.
Yeah, it was a couple months after he died. It was his last book he wrote. Rip. But yeah, I love Redwall. I think, Brad, what would you rate Redwall out of a 5?
Honestly, I mean, this was like solid 4 out of 5. I had a ton of fun with this. I loved it.
I enjoy it. 4 out of 5 for me for what it is. Like comparatively for what it is, like being young children literature, it's a 4 out of 5. It's good. Fun time. Had a good time. I read it a lot as a kid. I read a lot of books as a kid, and Redwall, the series of Redwall, will hold a special place in my heart forever because
I wish I would have read these earlier.
You suck.
I do suck. I was a really snooty kid when it came to what I read, and I did not. I don't know how I developed this like preference, but when I was a kid, I didn't want to read any stories about animals who were like talking.
Huh? That's such a weird thing.
But that's like where I drew the line, and so I missed out on a lot of good like fantasy. But I would have loved this as a kid, but I was just too much of a dumb dumb.
I'm,
got broke brain.
Got broke brain. Well,
but
yeah.
hey, this is the only break that you guys are gonna get for a while. Because Jordan, do you want to tell them what we're going to be reading for the next episode?
So next week, we're going to have our first guest on this podcast. My friend Cedric, who goes by his moniker online known as What a Hero. He's a webcomic artist for this year. He draws and writes a webcomic called The Witch's Throne. It's a big webcomic on the website called Tapas. It's a mobile app that you use to read it's technically, it comes from Korean manga called Maho, which is like the Korean style of making comics, which is usually meant to be read vertically, like on a phone. They're meant to be read on a phone. So he writes that. So he's going to be our first guest on the show, and we're going to do something special since he makes web comics. We're going to read a comic. We're going to read a doujinshi, which are horny books, horny manga, horny hentai, and since we are try to mostly review horny books and only review books like Redwall, well, we need a respite from the horny. But yeah, so we're gonna read Nozaki Anna, which is it's a doujinshi. It was written in, I want to say, it started in 2016 and ended in 2019. It's a weird doujinshi. It's about a guy who moves in an apartment who finds a peephole in his apartment that looks into his neighbor's apartment. And his neighbor's a girl, and he watches his neighbor masturbate. And then his neighbor sends him a message being like, "Ha, I see you found my peephole. Now that you've looked at me, I get to look at you." And they develop this weird relationship through this peephole. And one of my favorite anime YouTubers, he made a video called "This Hentai Made Me Cry," which was about this manga. So I was like, oh, fuck yeah, let's read this. So I sent this to my friend Cedric, and he's like, oh yeah, I read this. It's very sad. And I was like, pog! So yeah, we're going to be reading a a manga next week, a hentai manga, and it's going to be a weird time because Brad, I don't think you've ever read a doujinshi before in your life.
No, 100% no. No,
You are a pure boy who has never read a doujinshi. You didn't have the internet like I did.
Yeah, I definitely had the internet, but I was just...
You were just not looking where I was looking.
No, clearly not.
But yes, this was the third episode general review. The book Redwall, very good. Please check it out. Love that shit. But yes, we will be back. Actually, we will be back next Sunday. I am doing another double feature. I will do D&D at 6, and then we should be doing Gentleman Review at 8 o'clock. But they will be next Sunday, not Saturday, because Saturday I will be streaming, doing the Destiny 2 Beyond Light raid, which comes out that day. I will be pretty much raiding all day. It's going to be a very intense time. There'll probably be a lot of anger that day, but also a lot of fun. But yeah.
Very sweaty.
I'm gonna be very sweaty. Because I'm about to leave this call and go play more Destiny 2 because I need to farm my levels.
Are you going to be streaming it, or are you just going to be playing it?
No, I'm just gonna play it. I just want to vibe.
I understand. I'm probably going to get into some Final Fantasy 14 after this.
Pog. But yeah, thank you for everybody stopping by as usual. I appreciate everybody who stays. You know,
We love you all.
I love you all.
Very dear friends. You're wonderful people.
You're wonderful people, and I appreciate you. And you know what I always say? Grab yourself a blanket, wrap yourself up for the night, and get cozy. I love you guys. Goodbye.
Bye-bye now.